Welcome to another episode of these lockdown reflections. In this video, we're going to be looking at a trait. It is a negative trait. From a psychological point of view, this trait can be of some sort of mental illness due to obsession or fear of poverty or anxiety about the future. As mentioned in the previous episode, I'll be delving into some of the passages from this book, Purification of the Heart, that deals with spiritual ailments, just to encourage myself first to treat these tendencies with the aim of becoming a better human being, whilst also getting the benefit of sharing what I learned through this platform. That's the intention, inshallah. What better time than Ramadan to reflect on the self, to break habits and form new ones. The first disease in the book is miserliness, being a miser. Everyone knows who a miser is, but let's define it anyways. A miser is a person who hoards wealth and spends as little money as possible. He's stingy with money. A miser is one who clings to his wealth and therefore he hoards it. The word cling in Arabic, this is from the book, means masak, which is derived from another Arabic word meaning constipation. Miserly people are constipated and they are unable to let go of something that otherwise poisons them. This is one of the most hated character traits. And there are words in English referring to a miser. Penny pincher, niggard, Scrooge, hoarder, meanie. There are vulgar ones which I'm not going to say it here. Right. Miserliness, bukhul, according to this book, can be manifested in two aspects. One is overlooking the sacred law, that is the rights due to the Creator and His creations, which is zakat, a charity that is distributed to the needy, supporting dependents like your family, your children, or relieving the distress. Miserliness, when it comes to obligatory acts, is considered to be the most reprehensible form. The other aspect, according to Imam Maulud, is of virtuous merit. An example of virtuous merit given in the book is debt. When it comes to debt, it is far better for the creditor to be flexible and magnanimous than demanding and unbearable, especially when the creditor is not in need of repayment, while debtor is facing hardship. This understanding and compassion from the creditor is a form of virtuous merit. Even though it is not an obligation on the creditor to have these qualities, and he has right to what he is owed, but if he is apathetic to the needs of the debtor, he is being miserly. There is a hadith that speaks of a wealthy man who would instruct his servants when collecting money on his behalf, saying, if the debtors do not have the means, tell them their debts are absolved. So when this wealthy man died without any good deeds, according to the hadith, Allah said to his angels, this man was forgiving of people's transgressions against him. I am more worthy of forgiving transgressions, therefore I forgive him. Being miserly is not just being stingy with money. The Imam says not to create difficulty over trivial matters. This applies to treating guests or buying things of inferior quality or haggling over prices on things going to the needy. It is considered miserly to give charity that are of inferior and shoddy quality. This tradition teaches to give away what one loves, for which God blesses and extends His goodness. The Creator in the Quran says, do not seek what is inferior in order to spend from it, though you yourselves would not take it unless your eyes were close to it. And in other words, the Creator says, you will not attain righteousness until you spend on what you love. The habit of miserliness can be eliminated by making yourself accustomed to spending money. For you to break an attachment, you must force a way till a new habit is formed. One of the purposes of zakat is to eliminate miserliness. By giving away zakat, one purifies his wealth from whatever unknown impurities that may have entered it. We saw the word cling, which has a reference to constipation. So letting go of any tiny portion of your wealth is a form of purification. One of the things that causes miserly habits is the fear of poverty. This fear is from shubuhat, that comes from the lack of trust on the Creator. There's a verse in the Quran that says, Shaitan threatens you with poverty and commands you to immorality, but God promises His forgiveness and bounty. So if you're seeking His bounty, then fulfill the command of spending on the needy and poor. Zakat helps you to purge this habit of miserliness. Imam's counsel is to reflect hard on the reality of the temporary state of this world. One exerts so much hard work to attain wealth, but at the same time the destroyer of passion, destroyer of pleasures, comes uninvited. This pandemic has kind of opened our eyes to that reality. How suddenly things that we value most has become unimportant, and our priority being just basic survival. So in these difficult times, I think instead of fearing poverty and behaving irrationally, we should reorient ourselves and seek His forgiveness and spend on the poor and needy. And Imam also says that the level of hatred shown to miser can be enough to turn away from the disease. So in this month of Ramadan, let's practice the habit of giving and remember the verses. When you give that from which you love. And I encourage you to buy the book if you can afford, and I'll put a link down below in the description box. Please do check that out as well. Please do support my channel if you can by subscribing and hitting the bell button for more updates from this channel straight to your inbox. And I will see you in another video. Thank you so much for listening. Assalamu alaikum, peace be with you.
The poor and hungry, help the wafer and the orphan child, and to not be cruel and miserly. His speech was soft and gentle, like a mother stroking her child. His mercy and compassion were most radiant when he smiled.